What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 6 of Training Thoughts Inside the Mind of the Wrangler Cowboy Kofo. That's me, right? Don't mean to speak about myself in the third person, but you know how it is sometimes. I just really quick wanted to show one of my initial back squat sessions. I took a long period of time off from back squats, especially heavy ones, to really focus on building some mobility and length in my hips and lower body in general. I use Zercher squats and other variations for about a couple years now. So feeling really good in my positioning, getting really deep into those squat patterns and feeling really flexible and mobile on the mats for jiu-jitsu. And so I wanted to add some back squats back into my training, and lo and behold, I'm able to hit full depth without any difficulty. Looking forward to really skyrocket these numbers, get back up to my previous 1 rep max under the same load, but a much greater range of motion. So as you can notice, we changed locations here. I'm over here at Real Movement Martial Arts in Bartlett, Illinois. It's where I train jiu-jitsu, and I recently began training some combat sports athletes out here, MMA fighters, strikers, grapplers, jiu-jitsu artists, wrestlers, so on and so forth. Really excited about being over here as well. As you can see, I'm using a cambered bar bench press here on a 30-degree incline. It's a little bit sticky here. I know I'm posting this in January, but this training session was last fall/November, so it's still a little bit warm out. I'm able to get a good sweat in, so top came off to cover the bench to keep me from sliding around. Okay, I had that incline press supersetted with a lat pull down here. Okay, I have options for resistance band pull downs, lat pull downs with the machines, or even pull-ups. Okay, so for today, working decently heavy. I forget the exact percentage of the load that I'm using on the bar, but pull-ups are one of the movements that often get roped into one of those, oh, it's just body weight, but your body is weight, and the way we can manipulate your joint angles and the physics and the moment arms really determine the load that the tissues that we are targeting. In this case, it's our pulling muscles, our teres minor, major, lats, biceps, brachioradialis, so on and so forth. So I opted to use a lat pull down for today, but many times I will also use a assisted pull-up if I have a higher rep range, or a loaded pull-up if I have a strength emphasis on my program. Okay, this one's going to look a little bit unique for most of you guys. I initially had programmed these to develop length and mobility in a front split position, but I initially wrote it to use a floor slider. You know, those little discs that kind of slide across the floor. Okay, did not have access to any of those here, so I'm trying this out for the first time. Ideally, I'm able to eventually build into using a dumbbell to add load to this, but I'm nowhere near being at that point at this current time. So I'm doing a hand-supported slider front split. Now the goal here is to treat it like it is an advanced progression to a single leg RDL. Okay, I can very comfortably build my way in all the way to the ground with my single leg RDLs. So in order to get a little bit more length while still focusing on building strength in those extended positions, I opted to use this slider variation. So I'm really excited about these. These felt really good. Big length and big tension points all throughout my hamstrings and even hip flexors on that working leg, okay, which right now is my tattooed leg, my left leg. The hip flexors absolutely firing to help drag me back up to the starting point of this range of motion. Okay, if you guys are going to try these out, really suggest you guys have, one, a coach or a professional watching you, but also something that has a good amount of durability and stability. This earthquake bar thing didn't quite have the stiffness that I was looking for, so I opted to use another loaded barbell metal variation going forward in the future, but really like those. I suggest you guys try them out once you have mastered the single leg RDL and other hinge variations. Okay, now I'm coming over by the landmine. Working on some good rotation of my hips. I'm sorry, not my hips, but of my trunk and my spine. Really trying to keep my hips facing forward throughout the duration of this movement. My shoulders are moving independently, and I apologize that this is not a full frame shot. I didn't realize until after the recording was finished that it was you know, a little bit lower of a pan on the view. So please bear with me here, okay? Really trying to build great core strength here in a rotational fashion. Many ways to do this. This is just what I have currently programmed as the variation that I'm using. So moving forward here, okay, lots of different names for what I'm doing here. In college, they're called Buddha push-ups. I've seen them called bomber push-ups, okay? These are just like a very, very low on the totem pole of strength demands as far as push-ups goes. You know, the standard knee push-ups, okay? This is even a step further. I'm going hips to the ground, really focusing a very small amount of this movement towards building strength in triceps. What I really want to do is try to build some extension in my upper back, which I keep stating over and over and over, but that is probably my weak point. As you can see, I'm kind of focusing a little bit more on burning out my triceps there at the end, making some crazy faces and whatnot, but you know, try those out. Try to get some big extension through that upper back and that thoracic spine, okay, while also building some resilience and strength in those triceps. Okay, and then I'm going to superset these to add on to my elbow health regimen. Okay, just some basic cable supinated bicep curls. Really trying to focus on getting a nice long range of motion here. As always, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm really trying to hammer that point home for you guys. So what I'm focusing on here is getting a nice pump in my biceps, okay, as a grappler. Especially I've recently started focusing on body locks, front head choking attacks, and things of that nature. So really important to have really strong pulling muscles and elbows and biceps. So make sure you take care of your joints throughout your entire competitive career and practitioner career as a grappler is really important. Thank you guys for listening. I'll check you guys next time.